but the thing kept growing on him and growing on him, and he got to the point where he couldn't keep it. So he takes it and he loads it in the back of this dump truck because it's so big, and he drives to this cliff, and he starts to dump that thing off, and the thing looks at him. He looks down, looks at the guy with these big sad eyes, and he says, "That's a long, long way to Tipperary." You know what that is? That was a World War I song.
Mm-hmm.
It's a long, long way to Tipperary. Yeah.
You want to tell those are the ones we used to hear every single time we drove the New York State Thruway.
Yeah, the Indian brave.
Heather?
I'm not sure I remember that one now. He's out, he went out to go hunting so he could win this young Indian princess, and of course his name was Falling Rocks, and he went out, and they're waiting for him to come back, and he's not coming back, and he didn't come back, and he didn't come back, you know, and even now you look around and you'll see signs up, "Watch for falling rocks." There's this castle outside of this town, and it's supposedly haunted. And one day there started this rapping noise from the castle. It just kept getting louder and louder and louder. The people it was starting to keep them awake and starting to scare them. So a couple of these brave guys decided that they'd go up and see if they could figure out what was going on. So they go up, and it's just getting louder and louder as they get closer, and they go into the castle, and they can hear it, and they're going to look for a room. They're trying to follow the sign. And finally, they follow the sign, and it's apparently the room is where this rapping sound is coming from. So they open the door, and the sound is really loud. And they open the door, and there in the center of the room, a roll of wrapping paper. Exploring outer space, and the guy comes out to this, and he finds this creature that's all furry, and he's looking at him, and he's got this hypodermic needle coming out of his head, and he looks at him and he says, "Who are you?" He says, "I am the furry with the syringe on top."
Jokes. Did you make that up?
No, I heard him from time to time.
Put her Team Papa shirt on, and we'll do Hannah Family, and then...
She got to see it, and so they go off into the woods, and so the next day we go back over to see if they're still there, and they come back, and there's one. And then later that day, that one is under a tree there, dead.
Aww. From what?
Hmm?
From what?
It was too late in the season. It was too hot, and we think there wasn't enough. It was too hot and not enough places to get water frequently enough. Because usually they're born in like March and April, and this one was like in June. Hot, hot. I think the parents were probably the first time. and they didn't have it together very good.
First time I ever saw a pair of sandhill cranes born. We saw the eggs. The sandhills had made a nest. Now, unlike the ones that were just described, they made a nest alongside a little pond. And they were born on a Saturday afternoon, I guess, or maybe it was, yeah, I think it was probably afternoon, and everybody's around and they're looking and they're snapping their pictures and everything, and I go by and I look and it says, oh, that's cute. So I go home. Well, that night we had a hellacious rainstorm, and I'm figuring these poor little guys, they got soaked to death, you know. And so I go back over on my way to church, and these two little guys are swimming in that pond like ducks. They're just swimming along like mad. And sandhills have two ways to communicate. They communicate with that squawk that many of you have heard, and that lets other people know that they're around. But they also have this little purring sound, just barely audible. Well, Mama gets down on the nest, and she makes this little purring sound, and these two little babies come swimming over to her, and she opens her wings, and they climb up on her back, and then she closes their wings up over them. They didn't get a drop of water on them. They did not get a drop of water. But outside where Karen lives, and we went over, and there's a mama gator in there, and they're, what, 20 gators?
Oh, there were a zillion baby gators.
Oh, goody.
And I'm looking at Mama, and Mama's looking at me, and boy, oh boy, she said, just try it. Just try it. This was a big female. She must have been about 8 feet long. But these little kitties just swimming around like mad. But the male gators will eat the babies.
Joey's posing. Yes.
Union College in Schenectady, New York.
Okay, and your dates that you were in the Air Force.
All right, Al, that's easy.
We'd have to see if
It
we
must
can
have
find
been
it
May or
in
June
214.
because you traveled
I don't need like the month and the.
58.
58.
58.
60.
Because they got married in
58 to 60, because he went down there in
As soon
late
as
May,
he
early June, the year.
Graduated college.
Did you say you graduated from Stanford in 19?
Yes, that.
I thought he did.
Figured out to do the video. I have no
He
idea.
is the same age as Dad. I don't think
Well,
he's
you saw how well I did in the video, but I did get the little guys fine. So
That's
I
not
felt
correct.
like I had
You're gonna
success
take that with a
there,
grain of
even though
salt.
it
Her
was
memory is
Hey,
not
my
right.
picture was done.
Okay, we have,
Yeah.
tell Ellen not to worry about it.